Hey guys and gals, for over the past year and a half, I have gotten multiple comments from many of you guys requesting me to review this one certain movie. Well, today I am finally gonna give in. This is it. One of the big ones. The infamous Walt Disney Animation Studios classic, Frozen Fever. That's right, Frozen Fever. This 7-minute animated short that was featured in front of the live-action remake of Cinderella. I'm kinda surprised y'all wanted me to review this instead of its feature-length counterpart, but if this is what the people want, it is my duty to deliver. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right on into... Oh look, it's File 91E, host of the popular YouTube show File 91E's Disney News and Reviews, whose channel can be found right here. What are you doing here?
How you doing, buddy? I just wanted to stop by to see how your review of Frozen is going.
Oh, well, I was actually just about to start the review, to be honest. I mean, Frozen Fever is only about 7 minutes long. It shouldn't take too long.
Frozen Fever? You're not serious, right? That's not at all what they've been asking for.
What do you mean? I don't have an idea what you're talking about.
Sure you do. Remember Frozen? Came out in 2013?
Sorry, I don't really follow.
Starred Kristen Bell, Adele Dazeem, Idina Menzel. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm still not following.
It's replacing Aladdin, a musical spectacular?
Oh, now I understand. Frozen. No, not happening.
Oh, come on, take it from me. I've been around a while. It's not really that bad. I've reviewed things 10 times as worse as that. Black Cauldron. A Circle of Life and Environmental Fable. Oh, that came from down there. Sorry about that. Ooh.
Well, I guess you do have a point. A movie about a queen with magical ice powers can't possibly be as mind-numbingly dull as an educational film about the environment starring the Lion King characters. Alright, I'll do it. So here we go. As my gift to you subscribers, let's review Disney's Frozen.
A quick disclaimer. Due to both copyright reasons and personally for my own sanity, a certain song involving letting something go shall not be heard in this review. However, if the scene in question is mentioned in said review, an appropriate substitute shall be used.
Now, the basic plotline of Frozen goes like this. Anna and Elsa are twin sisters residing in the beautiful kingdom of Arendelle. However, when tragedy strikes, their family is forced to hide from the world. Several years pass, and after the untimely death of their parents, Elsa is now destined to become the queen. However, there is one major problem. She has ice powers. After accidentally causing a winter in summer, her sister Anna, with the aid of a rugged mountain man named Kristoff, his reindeer Sven, and a confused snowman named Olaf, they all embark on a journey to return Elsa to Arendelle, and to bring an end to the eternal winter. Overall, the story is told fairly well. I especially like the subtle jab at classic Disney films, with just how many of the characters tell Anna that you cannot marry a man whom you've just met, which I'm sure many Disney princesses, mainly these ones, would disagree with. However, there are two major exceptions that severely hinder my overall enjoyment of the entire film. The first of which being the actions of Anna and Elsa's parents during the beginning of the film. Now, I am aware that Frozen has a villain character, and believe me, we'll get to him in a moment, but these two are, in my mind, the true villains of Frozen. Why do I call them that, you may ask? Well, let me explain. In the film, after young Anna is struck by one of Elsa's ice blasts, the king and queen take them to the mythical troll doctor, to which he says the only way for them to cure Anna is to replace all of her memories of Elsa's ice powers. Now you can make the argument that this was the only way to heal Anna, and thus the parents had no other choice, but what about after she was healed and home safe and sound? You're really trying to tell me that the parents couldn't just sit down with both of them and tell Anna that her recklessness almost caused her untimely demise? To better explain what I mean, let's flash back to 1994 with the release of The Lion King. Do you recall when Simba disobeyed Mufasa and went to the elven graveyard, which in doing so almost turned himself and Nala into hyena chow? After Mufasa saved them from the attack, he sat Simba down and explained that what Simba did was wrong. These situations are practically identical. However, in The Lion King, it's handled much better. So you may be asking yourself, why mark this as a story issue and not a character issue? Well, because their poor actions are what caused the events of the movie to occur. By isolating Anna from her sister, the parents created an inert feeling in Anna of abandonment. By telling Elsa to, quote, conceal, don't feel, not only are they subtly making Elsa feel like a freak of nature, but they are also ensuring that one day her powers will be made known, and as we see in the film, have disastrous consequences. The movie needs us to buy their actions in order for the rest of the film to occur, but they failed, in my opinion, epically in this department. Moving on, let's talk about my second and final problem with Frozen's story, the twist. Now before I go any further, I do wish to warn people that there are spoilers in this section, so if you haven't yet seen Frozen, go to this point in the video to continue. Are they gone? Good. Let's talk about that twist. To be specific, the reveal of Prince Hans as our central bad guy. The question I wish to pose here is, was it indeed a good twist? I'd have to say no, and it's not only a bad twist, but it makes the film worse with it in. Now some may say that it's a good twist, particularly because you don't see it coming. My argument to that is, that's the point. You don't see it coming, because there's no build-up or subtle hints or anything that would lead someone to suspect that Hans was even up to something. To help show what I mean, let's flash back again to 1999 with the release of Toy Story 2. When the Prospector was revealed to be the bad guy, many would say that they didn't see it coming. However, when you're armed with that knowledge, if you go back and remember everything that the Prospector has said up until that point, you can see some underlying messages in the twisting of the knife, as it were, to trick Woody. It's almost as if the script was finished, then late one night M. Night Shyamalan broke in, read it, and said, this needs something.
What a twist!
With the filmmakers none the wiser. Now I do admit I am being a bit facetious here, and it doesn't bother me nearly as much as the aforementioned parents thing, but it's still a plot element that bothers me. So with all of that out of the way, let's now move on to... It feels only right to start this category by taking a look at our two leads, the royalty sisters of Arendelle, Anna and Elsa. These two characters are arguably the strongest aspect of Frozen overall, and the chemistry between the two is done tremendously well, which also helps to further emphasize their sisterly relationship. This is not only due, in part, to their written dialogue, though that certainly helps, but also due in part to the amazing voice work that was done by Idina Menzel and Kristen Bell. This is actually one of those rare times in a Disney film where I really cannot imagine anybody else playing those roles, like with Robin Williams' Genie in Aladdin, for example, or even Tom Hanks' Woody in the Toy Story trilogy. Moving on to the secondary characters, we have Prince Hans, Kristoff, and Olaf the Snowman. Despite the grilling I gave Hans for a certain trait of his before in the story category, I do feel that before that point, his character is portrayed fairly well. His voice actor, Santino Fontana, does a relatively decent job of the role, and his singing voice ain't that shabby either. The same pretty much goes for Kristoff, but there is one thing that puts him over the top: his humor and his comedic timing. Again, I do think the dialogue written for him plays a big part in bringing out a lot of the humor, but the voice actor, in this case Jonathan Groff, plays a huge part in selling the jokes to the audience. I'd actually consider Kristoff, along with Sven, my favorite side characters in the entire film. which sadly doesn't bode too well for our final character in this category, Olaf the Snowman. Now, Olaf, voiced by Josh Gad of Broadway's Book of Mormon fame, is one of those love-him-or-hate-him style characters, very much in the vein of Eddie Murphy's donkey character from the Shrek franchise. Now, I might get some flack for this, but while Olaf wasn't as annoying as I thought he might have been from the trailers, he's just too perky and happy for my taste. I also find the character to sort of be one note, as his main joke is that he's a snowman who wants summer, a season where he'd, well, melt. Again, not as annoying as I thought he'd be, but not the breakout star of the film either. Now, there are a couple of other side characters, but they don't interact with the main plot that much to be worthy of screen time in this review. Well, I guess there would be the Duke of Wesselton, but he's... yeah, let's move on.